Honestly, this game should not be given a review because there's not much to say about it. However, the only reason I'm reviewing it is so that way I can complete the entire trilogy. Released in 1994 in the arcade and 1995 for the Sony PlayStation, Namco presents Tekken. Even though the game doesn't hold up as well as its successors Tekken 2 and Tekken 3, it does have a legendary status, a legacy if you will. It was one of the first and earliest 3D fighting games of its time. Even though it's not the first, that crown belongs to Virtua Fighter, it was still the start of what would eventually become the best-selling fighting game franchise of all time. Yes, even more than Street Fighter, which during the 90s was the top fighting game of the decade and revolutionized the industry and the fighting game genre as a whole. Game producer Kazuhiro Harada was heavily involved with the Tekken franchise since the beginning, but he would eventually become the leader of the project starting with Tekken 3. He is widely credited as being the true creator of Tekken. Harada is to Tekken as Kojima is to Metal Gear. Both guys are highly respected game designers of their times, and they still make games to this day. I don't mean to go off topic, but I'm just pointing it out. Let's focus on the game. As you can see, graphically, it's not better than its successors, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to let the game stand on its own and not compare it to its successors like a lot of reviewers do, which I don't know why. I mean, I see why, but it's not fair. Anyway, you have to think that back in 1994 and 1995, these graphics were actually better than Virtua Fighter, arguably. The backgrounds were mostly 3D, and the characters were not as blocky. By today's standards, they look pretty laughable, but back then, it was definitely a turning point. The gameplay still utilizes the same punch and kick mechanics that its successors have. Yes, I know, I'm not supposed to compare this game to its successors, but in order for me to talk about the gameplay, I had to bring it up. From a gameplay standpoint, it's actually not bad. It does, however, have some flaws. The gameplay feels only a little bit slower than it's supposed to feel. Sometimes you try to activate a move and it may not always work the way you want it to. Also, when you're knocked out, it takes a buttload of time to wake back up. I have no idea why this mechanic works like that in this game, but it is what it is. Also, the AI is extremely cheap. It doesn't matter if the game is set on easy. You can be playing with Heihachi Mishima and the AI will still be cheap. Also, if you're playing as one of the original unlocked characters, anywhere past the third stage is when the AI becomes damn near impossible to beat. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but what I'm saying is the AI is broken in this game. Even back in 1995, this had to have been a constant problem. The mode selections is pretty pathetic. The only modes that exist is arcade, 2-player, and options. I understand that it's a port from an arcade game, but holy crap, it's a console port. Don't be afraid to utilize the console by including console exclusive modes. It actually would have helped with replay value for this game. Now, after my complaining, you probably think that I hate this game. I actually don't. To tell you the truth, I enjoy it more than most people do, simply because it was the first game, so my expectations are low, and I'm a hardcore video game enthusiast. I enjoy all kinds of games from the past, including the obscure ones. I'm also a fighting game fanatic, so there you go. First off, the ability to unlock characters by beating the game with each respective character, and you can also unlock Heihachi Mishima by beating the game with any of the characters without losing. I mean, you can lose a round, just not the entire game. Also, because this is the first game of the series, don't expect a high roster. The controls, despite its flaws, feels very responsive. Playing with an arcade stick makes the experience a lot better. And the music? It's just plain awesome. So awesome that it got brought back in Tekken 2 for a majority of the sub-bosses. That's everything I have to say about this game. I'm sorry if this review wasn't long, but you'll notice that a lot of my reviews focus more on quality over quantity. My reviews only go on for as long as it needs to. I know other YouTubers are capable of making long video game reviews, but I'm personally not one of them. Less is more, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I upload new videos. Follow me and support me on Streamlabs and check out my social media links. Peace out, deuces beyond the infinite. This is your friendly neighborhood reptile, signing off.